There is a version of your life that may never happen. Not because you were incapable of creating it, not because you were missing talent, and not because the opportunity never came. It may never happen simply because your attention kept moving. You wanted one thing on Monday. Something else excited you on Wednesday. By Friday, another person's success made you question everything. So you started again, and again, and again. Years can disappear this way, not in failure, in distraction. That is what makes distraction so dangerous. It rarely tells you to destroy your future. It simply asks you to postpone the important thing for a few minutes. Check this, watch that, start this, think about that. Tomorrow you will focus, but tomorrow becomes another distracted day. And eventually, you can become a person who knows a little about everything but has built almost nothing deeply. Now imagine the opposite. Imagine choosing one important mission and becoming almost impossible to pull away from it. You stop reacting to every new opportunity. You stop changing direction because someone else appears ahead of you. You stop giving your best hours to things you will not remember next year. You begin finishing, you begin going deeper, and slowly, your ordinary days start building something extraordinary. That is the discipline of one. Not doing one thing for the rest of your life, but knowing what matters now and having the discipline to give it your full attention. Because sometimes there is only one thing standing between the life you have and the life you want. Your ability to stop looking everywhere else. One target changes everything. Most people do not have a lack of ability. They have too many targets. One person wants to build a business, learn a new language, get in shape, read 50 books, grow on social media, start investing, wake up at 5, travel more, become more confident, and learn 3 new skills. None of those goals are bad. The problem begins when all of them become important at the same time. Your mind has only so much energy. Your day has only so many hours. Your attention has limits. When you try to move in 10 directions, you may stay busy all day and still feel as if nothing important is changing. This is why one target can change everything. A clear target gives your energy somewhere to go. Without one clear target, your effort spreads everywhere. Think about sunlight. Sunlight touches everything around you, but it does not burn through a piece of paper. Now place that same sunlight through a lens. The light becomes focused. The energy becomes concentrated. Suddenly, it becomes powerful enough to create heat. Your attention works in a similar way. Scattered effort feels weak. Focused effort becomes powerful. This does not mean you can only care about one thing in your entire life. You still have family. You still have health. You still have responsibilities. You still have daily tasks. But at any important stage of your life, you need to know which goal deserves the strongest part of you. Ask yourself a simple question. If only one important area of my life could improve greatly over the next year, which one would make the biggest difference? Do not answer too quickly. Think deeply. Maybe increasing your income would remove pressure from many parts of your life. Maybe improving your health would give you the energy to do everything else. Maybe finishing your education would open doors that are currently closed. Maybe building one important skill would completely change your career. Maybe growing one business is more valuable than beginning 5 new projects. Your answer will depend on your life. But you need an answer. A person without a clear target is easy to distract. Every new idea feels important. Every opportunity looks exciting. Every new trend creates pressure. Every successful person makes you question your direction. You watch someone growing a business and think you should start one. Then you see someone traveling and think you should work less. Then you see someone with a strong body and decide fitness must become your main goal. Then you watch a video about investing, then another about writing, then another about artificial intelligence, then another about building a personal brand. Within a few days, your mind is carrying 20 possible futures. This feels like ambition. Often, it is confusion. Real ambition needs direction. A river becomes powerful because it moves in a direction. If the same water spreads across a huge flat surface, it becomes shallow. Many people are living shallow lives because their attention is spread too widely. They start more than they finish. They plan more than they produce. They learn more than they apply. They collect goals but do not build results. The discipline of one begins when you decide that everything cannot receive your best energy. You must choose. Choosing is uncomfortable because every choice closes other doors. When you say yes to one target, you are also saying not now to many others. That is why people avoid choosing. They want every possibility to remain open. They fear choosing the wrong thing. They fear missing another opportunity. They fear watching other people move in different directions. But refusing to choose is also a choice. It is the choice to divide your attention. It is the choice to move slowly. It is the choice to remain in permanent preparation. You do not need certainty before choosing. You need enough clarity to begin. There is no perfect target. There is only the target you are willing to give serious effort. Suppose you decide your main target is becoming a professional designer. That changes your decisions. When you have 2 free hours, you know what they are for. When someone invites you into a random new project, you have something to compare it against. When you are choosing a course, you know which skills matter. When you decide what content to consume, your target filters your choices. When you wake up, you know what deserves your best mental energy. The target becomes a filter. This is one of the greatest benefits of focus. It removes thousands of small decisions. People think discipline means forcing yourself to work. Sometimes discipline means removing the need to choose again and again. You choose once, then your daily actions follow that choice. Without a target, every morning becomes a negotiation. What should I work on? What should I study? Should I begin something new? Should I change direction? Should I follow this opportunity? Should I copy what that person is doing? Constant deciding is exhausting. A clear target reduces that noise. You begin seeing opportunities differently. Some opportunities are good but wrong for your current season. Learning to say, that is valuable, but it is not my target, is a powerful skill. You do not need to attack every mountain simply because it exists. You need to know which mountain you are climbing. Many people lose years because they keep changing mountains. They climb for a while, progress becomes difficult. Excitement disappears. Then they see another mountain that looks easier. They come down. They begin again. The new mountain becomes difficult too, so they switch again. Years pass. They have gained experience, but they have never reached a summit. The person who chooses one meaningful target and stays with it long enough creates a different life. At first, the difference may not be visible. Both people are working. Both people are learning. Both people seem ambitious. But time begins separating them. One person keeps restarting. The other keeps building. One keeps returning to zero. The other builds on yesterday. This is how focus creates advantage. It compounds. The 10th month is built on the first 9 months. The 3rd year is built on the first 2. Skill becomes deeper. Knowledge becomes stronger. Relationships become better. Understanding becomes sharper. Confidence grows because you have proof that you can stay with something. You stop needing constant motivation because the path becomes familiar. One target also exposes your excuses. When you have many goals, it is easy to hide from difficult work. You can avoid your business by working on your fitness plan. You can avoid studying by reorganizing your schedule. You can avoid writing by watching educational videos. You can avoid the difficult project by beginning an easier one. Everything feels productive, but the main thing remains untouched. One target removes that hiding place. Now the question becomes clear. Did I move the target forward today? Not. Was I busy? Not. Did I consume useful information? Not. Did I make a beautiful plan? Did the target move? That question can completely change the way you work. Imagine two people who want to write a book. The first person spends months choosing software, studying writing advice, creating the perfect routine, reading books about creativity, designing possible covers, and talking about becoming an author. The second person writes 500 useful words every day. After 100 days, the second person has 50,000 words. The first person may know more about writing systems. The second person has a book. Results often belong to the person who kept touching the target. This is why your main target must become measurable. Become successful is too unclear. Get better is too unclear. Work harder is too unclear. Your mind needs something it can recognize. Finish the first draft. Lose 10 kilograms. Reach a certain monthly income. Complete the qualification. Publish one useful video every week. Learn enough English to hold a 30-minute conversation. Build 1,000 paying customers. The exact number is not the important part. Clarity is. A clear target tells you what progress looks like. Then break that target into smaller actions. A yearly target needs a monthly direction. A monthly direction needs a weekly priority. A weekly priority needs a daily action. The daily action is where discipline becomes real. Big goals are completed through small, repeated actions. You cannot write a book today, but you can write one page. You cannot build a strong body today, but you can complete one workout. You cannot master a language today, but you can practice speaking for 40 minutes. You cannot create a successful company today, but you can make one better offer, contact one possible customer, improve one product, or solve one important problem. The target may be large. The daily move should be simple. This protects you from feeling overwhelmed. Many people stare at the size of their goal until they become afraid of it. Do not carry the whole mountain. Carry today's step. Another important part of choosing one target is deciding what you are willing to sacrifice. Every serious goal costs something. It may cost comfort. It may cost entertainment. It may cost some social time. It may cost the pleasure of always doing what you feel like doing. It may cost the excitement of chasing every new idea. You cannot ask for a focused life while protecting every distraction. Something has to become less important. If your target deserves 1 hour every morning, then something else cannot own that hour. If your target needs 3 quiet evenings a week, then those evenings cannot belong to random entertainment. This is not punishment. It is exchange. Every life is built through exchanges. You exchange money for products. You exchange time for skill. You exchange comfort for growth. You exchange short-term pleasure for long-term progress. The important question is whether the exchange is worth it. When the target truly matters, discipline becomes easier to understand. You are not simply saying no to distractions. You are saying yes to something larger. That difference matters. A person who only thinks about what they are giving up will feel deprived. A person who remembers what they are building will feel purposeful. Keep the target visible. Write it somewhere you can see it. Put it at the top of your planning page. Ask yourself each morning what action would move it forward. Review it each week, not because you need to become obsessed with productivity, but because human attention forgets. Urgent things easily replace important things. Other people bring their priorities into your day. Messages arrive. Problems appear. Small tasks multiply. Without reminding yourself what matters, your most important goal can disappear under a pile of unimportant activity. Protect it. One target does not make life smaller. It makes effort stronger. You are not refusing every other part of life. You are deciding where your greatest growth will happen now. There may be a season for another goal later, but this season needs a center. Choose what deserves your focus. Give it a clear form. Break it into daily action. Return to it when your mind wanders. Let other good ideas wait. Then give time a chance to work for you. One target, pursued deeply enough, can change your skill. It can change your income. It can change your confidence. It can change your habits. It can change the people around you. It can change what opportunities become available. It can change what you believe is possible. The power does not come from doing everything. It comes from knowing what matters now and refusing to forget it. 2. Stop chasing everything. A scattered life often begins with a simple habit. You see something attractive. You chase it. Then something else appears. You chase that too. A new opportunity, a new trend, a new idea, a new plan, a new method, a new goal. Your attention keeps moving, but your life does not move much. The human mind loves new things. New things create energy. Starting feels exciting because nothing has become difficult yet. You can imagine success without facing the boring middle. You can dream about the result without dealing with repetition. That is why starting can become addictive. A person may start 10 projects and feel extremely motivated. The problem appears later. Every meaningful project reaches a stage where excitement disappears. The work becomes normal. Progress becomes slower. The easy improvements are gone. Now skill must deepen, patience must grow, problems must be solved. This is the moment when many people begin looking for something new. They do not always quit because the goal is wrong. They quit because the goal is no longer new. This creates a painful pattern: excitement, beginning, early progress, difficulty, boredom, doubt, a new idea, restart. The cycle feels active, but it prevents mastery. You cannot build a deep life if you keep living at the beginning of everything. At some point, you need to stop collecting beginnings and learn how to continue. There will always be something else you could do. That fact will never change. There will always be another business model, another investment, another skill, another platform, another book, another strategy, another place you could live, another person whose life makes your current path look ordinary. The world will continue offering you options. Your responsibility is not to follow all of them. Your responsibility is to choose carefully. Modern life makes this harder because you can see thousands of other lives every day. Before the internet, you mainly compared yourself with people around you. Now you can compare yourself with the strongest, richest, most talented, most attractive, most productive, and most successful people from every part of the world before breakfast. This can create a strange feeling. No matter what you are doing, someone else appears to be doing something better. You are building a business. Someone online seems to be making more money through investing. You start investing, then someone appears to be growing faster through content. You begin making content. Then another person says content creation is becoming too competitive and artificial intelligence is the future. You change again. Soon your direction is being controlled by strangers. You are no longer building your life. You are reacting to what you see. This is dangerous because you rarely see the full cost of another person's path. You see the result. You do not see the years. You see the income. You do not see the risk. You see the freedom. You do not see the responsibility. You see the body. You do not see the thousands of meals and workouts. You see the audience. You do not see the years of publishing when almost nobody cared. Every path has a price. When you constantly chase what looks attractive, you keep choosing results without understanding their cost. A better question is not, do I want what this person has? Ask, do I want the daily life required to build it? That question changes everything. You may want the body but not the training. You may want the company but not the stress of leadership. You may want the book but not the lonely hours of writing. You may want fluency but not the daily practice. You may want financial freedom but not the years of careful decisions. A goal is not only an outcome, it is a lifestyle. Choose goals whose process you are willing to live. then stop chasing every alternative. This does not mean you become closed-minded. You should learn, you should adjust, you should notice change, you should leave a path when strong evidence shows that it is truly wrong. But there is a major difference between intelligent adjustment and emotional jumping. Intelligent adjustment comes from evidence. Emotional jumping comes from discomfort, boredom, fear, or comparison. Learn to tell the difference. When you feel a strong urge to abandon your direction, do not immediately act. Ask what changed. Did the facts change? Or did my feelings change? Did the opportunity disappear? Or did the work become harder? Did I discover that this path conflicts with my values? Or did I see someone else's exciting result? Did the goal become impossible? Or did progress become slower? Many bad decisions are made because temporary emotion is treated like permanent truth. Do not rebuild your life every time your mood changes. Give decisions time. You also need a place to store ideas that are not for now. Your mind fears losing ideas. That is one reason it keeps pulling you toward them. Create a simple later list. When a new business idea appears, write it down. When you find another skill you want to learn, write it down. When you discover a book you want to read, save it. When an interesting project enters your mind, record it, then return to your main work. This tells your mind, I am not rejecting this forever. I am simply refusing to let it interrupt today. That one habit can protect enormous amounts of attention. Another source of chasing is the need to feel fast progress. We want visible movement. When the main goal becomes slow, we search for something that gives quicker rewards. You may be learning a difficult skill. In the beginning, improvement happens rapidly. Then you reach an intermediate level. Now progress becomes harder to see. This is where patience matters. The next level may require months of practice before the improvement becomes obvious. If you keep switching goals, you will repeatedly experience beginner progress, but never reach advanced ability. Beginners improve quickly because almost everything is new. Masters improve slowly because the details become smaller. Do not confuse slower progress with no progress. Depth often grows quietly. You may practice public speaking for months and feel almost the same. Then one day you speak in front of a room and realize your fear has dropped. You may write for a year without feeling special. Then you read something you wrote 12 months earlier and see how far you have moved. You may train your body for weeks without noticing much. Then old clothes fit differently. You may work on a business for months with little attention. Then one customer tells another, then another. Progress is not always smooth. Some periods look flat. Your work is still building something beneath the surface. The ability to stay is one of the most underrated advantages in life. Not staying forever. Staying long enough. Long enough to move beyond the easy part. Long enough to become useful. Long enough to develop judgment. Long enough for people to trust you. Long enough for your work to become better than average. Long enough for your effort to compound. Many opportunities only appear after you have been doing the work for a while. People trust experienced people. Skills become valuable when they are developed deeply. Businesses become strong when relationships and systems have had time to grow. Creative work develops a voice when you have produced enough to discover your own way. If you leave too early, you never reach those benefits. Chasing everything also creates mental debt. Every unfinished project stays somewhere in your mind. The course you bought but never completed, the half-written document, the business idea you started, the account you created, the room you began organizing, the plan you never followed, the commitment you made. Each unfinished thing uses a small amount of mental space. 1 or 2 are manageable. 30 unfinished promises become heavy. You start feeling behind even when nobody is chasing you. This is why closing projects is powerful. Look at everything you have started. Some things should be completed. Some should be cancelled. Some should be delayed. Some should be deleted. Do not keep hundreds of open loops simply because you once cared about them. You are allowed to decide that something no longer deserves your time. A clear no is often healthier than a weak maybe that lasts for years. Make a list of your active goals. Not the goals you like thinking about, the goals that currently receive your time. Be truthful. Maybe there are 12. Now ask which 3 actually matter. Then ask an even harder question. Which one matters most? This may feel uncomfortable. Good. Focus often begins with discomfort because it requires cutting. A sculptor creates form by removing stone. A focused life also requires removal. You remove activities that do not support what matters. You remove commitments that no longer fit. You remove information that only creates noise. You remove goals that belong to an older version of you. You remove the need to prove that you can do everything. You do not become less ambitious. Your ambition becomes concentrated. There is great freedom in knowing what you are not doing. You do not need to study every topic. You do not need to answer every message immediately. You do not need to join every project. You do not need to turn every interest into a goal. You do not need to make money from every skill. You do not need to keep up with every trend. You do not need to become good at everything you admire. Some things can simply remain interesting. Some doors can remain closed. Some opportunities can belong to other people. Your life becomes lighter when you stop treating every possibility like an obligation. This is especially important when your main work becomes difficult. Difficulty makes alternatives look better. The business owner begins thinking about starting another business. The writer begins thinking about a podcast. The student begins searching for a completely different career. The creator begins thinking about a new platform. Sometimes the alternative truly is better. Often it is only easier because you have not faced its problems yet. Every path looks clean from a distance. Stay long enough to understand what you are leaving and what you are entering. Do not make permanent decisions because of temporary frustration. Give hard seasons a little time. Solve the problem in front of you. Ask what the next useful step is. Do that step, then another. A focused person is not someone who never sees other options. A focused person sees them and continues anyway. That is the difference. Distraction is not always something silly. Sometimes distraction arrives dressed as a good opportunity. It says, "This could be huge." It says, "You should not miss this." It says, "Everyone is moving into this field." It says, "Maybe your current work is too slow." You need enough inner strength to answer, "Maybe, but this is not my work right now." Your future will not be built by everything you could have done. It will be built by what you actually stayed with. Stop chasing every open door. Choose the door that matters. Walk through it. Then keep walking long enough to discover where it leads. 3. Choose one goal and shut out the noise. Once you choose a goal, the next challenge begins. The world does not become quiet because you became focused. Messages still arrive. People still interrupt. New ideas still appear. Your phone still offers endless entertainment. News continues. Social media continues. Problems continue. Opinions continue. Focus is not created by waiting for silence. Focus is created by learning to shut out noise. Noise is anything that repeatedly takes your attention away from what matters without giving enough value in return. Some noise is obvious. Random videos, endless scrolling, games played for hours, constant notifications, gossip, arguments online, checking your phone every few minutes. But some noise looks useful. Reading too much news, watching one more educational video instead of practicing, listening to too many experts, changing your system every week, buying another course before finishing the first one, researching tools for hours, talking about the goal more than working on it. Useful information can still become noise when it replaces action. This is important because intelligent people are often distracted by intelligent things. They do not waste 5 hours watching meaningless entertainment. They waste 5 hours learning things they do not need yet. The activity feels respectable. The result is the same. The main work did not happen. A focused life requires strong filters. Before consuming information, ask, will this help me do something important soon? If the answer is no, you may not need it now. You can learn almost anything today. That does not mean you should. Knowledge becomes powerful when it arrives at the right time and is used. Unused information often becomes mental clutter. Suppose your goal is to build a successful online store. You could spend months studying branding, psychology, finance, leadership, taxes, advanced advertising, copywriting, design, automation, international expansion, and dozens of other areas. All of them may matter eventually, but perhaps your immediate problem is simple. You need to find a product people actually want. Then that is the problem. Solve it. Do not use advanced learning to escape basic action. Focus asks, what matters now? Not someday, now. Your physical environment also shapes your focus. People often talk as if discipline lives only inside the mind. It does not. Your surroundings constantly influence your behavior. If your phone is beside you, you are more likely to touch it. If notifications appear on your screen, part of your attention leaves your work. If 10 browser tabs are open, your mind keeps receiving small invitations to switch. If television is running in the background, some mental energy goes toward it. If people know they can interrupt you at any time, they probably will. You can use willpower to fight all of this, or you can change the environment. Put the phone in another room, turn off notifications, close the extra tabs, keep the desk simple. Use headphones if noise around you is unavoidable. Tell people when you need uninterrupted time. Block distracting websites during work periods. Prepare what you need before beginning. Small environmental changes reduce the number of battles your mind has to fight. Strong people do not prove their strength by placing temptation everywhere. They make the right action easier. There is another kind of noise that is harder to remove: other people's opinions. The moment you choose a serious goal, people may have something to say. Some will support you. Some will question you. Some will laugh. Some will give advice you did not ask for. Some will explain why your idea will fail. Some will tell you what they would do. Some will compare you with someone else. You cannot control all of this. You can control how much authority you give it. Not every opinion deserves equal weight. Ask who is speaking. Does this person understand the path? Have they built something similar? Do they understand your values and situation? Are they giving specific evidence? Or are they simply sharing fear? Advice should be judged by quality, not volume. 10 uninformed opinions do not become wise simply because there are 10 of them. One experienced person may be more useful. Even good advice must be filtered. 2 successful people may give opposite advice because they succeeded in different ways. One tells you to move fast. Another tells you to be patient. One says build a team early. Another says stay small. One says publish every day. Another says focus on quality. Both may be right inside their own context. Your job is not to obey every expert. Your job is to understand principles and make decisions for your situation. Too much advice can create paralysis. You begin doubting every move. You change direction before any strategy has time to work. Choose a small number of trusted sources. Learn from them. Test what fits. Then spend more time doing than consuming. Your goal needs quiet space around it. You also need to protect yourself from comparison. Comparison is noise because it pulls attention from your path to someone else's position. You may be in month 3 and comparing yourself with someone in year 10. You may be learning with limited resources while comparing yourself with someone who has a full team. You may be building slowly because you have family responsibilities. Another person may have fewer responsibilities. You rarely know the full picture. Comparison removes context. It shows you the visible result and hides the invisible conditions. Use other people's success as information if it helps. Do not turn it into a weapon against yourself. Ask what you can learn, then return to your work. Your energy belongs here. You cannot build your future while mentally living inside someone else's life. Another powerful source of noise is your own mind. Thoughts can interrupt you as aggressively as notifications. What if this fails? What if I picked the wrong goal? What if I am too late? What if someone else does it first? What if people judge me? What if I waste my time? You may never remove these thoughts completely. Focus does not require a perfectly quiet mind. It requires the ability to continue while the mind talks. A thought is not a command. Fear is not always a warning. Doubt is not always wisdom. Sometimes the mind simply produces possibilities. You can notice them without following them. Say to yourself, that thought is here. I am still doing the work. Then return. This ability to return is one of the central skills of concentration. People think focus means never becoming distracted. That standard is impossible. Everyone gets distracted. Strong focus means you notice more quickly and return more quickly. Suppose you are writing, your mind wanders. You begin thinking about lunch, then a message, then another task. At some point you notice. Do not become angry with yourself. Return to the sentence. 10 minutes later, you wander again. Return again. The repeated return trains attention. Each return is like a repetition in the gym. You are building the ability to stay. Over time, the mind learns that every thought will not be followed. One of the best ways to shut out noise is to create periods where only one activity is allowed. For example, from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock in the morning, you only work on your main goal. No messages, no meetings, no social media, no random research, no small admin tasks. If you become stuck, you remain with the project. You may think, you may write, you may plan the next step, but you do not escape. This matters because many distractions happen when work becomes uncomfortable. The moment you do not know what to do next, you reach for the phone. The moment writing becomes hard, you check email. The moment a problem appears, you open another tab. The brain learns that discomfort means escape. Reverse that training. Let discomfort mean stay. You do not need to solve the problem immediately. Simply remain near it, look at it, break it down. Write what you know. Ask what part is unclear. Often, clarity appears only after staying with confusion for a while. Great work requires this ability. Difficult problems do not always reveal their answer within 30 seconds. Some need quiet thinking. But quiet thinking feels strange if your brain is used to constant stimulation. That is why boredom tolerance matters. If every silent moment is filled with a phone, your mind loses practice being still. Try allowing small areas of life to remain unstimulated. Stand in a queue without opening an app. Walk for 10 minutes without headphones. Eat one meal without watching something. Sit with a notebook. Look out of a window. Your mind may feel restless. That restlessness is useful information. It shows how strongly constant input has trained you. You do not need to remove all entertainment. You need to remember that your attention should belong to you. Technology is useful when you use it intentionally. It becomes dangerous when it decides where your eyes go next. Ask how often you open your phone without deciding to. How often you move from one app to another with no clear purpose. How often 20 minutes disappear. How often you close an app and reopen it moments later. These are not small habits when repeated hundreds of times. They shape the nervous system. They train the brain to expect novelty. Then deep work feels painfully slow. Rebuild your ability to stay. Start with 30 focused minutes, then 45, then 60. Protect the period, take a break. Repeat. Do not worry about working 8 perfect hours. A few deeply focused hours can produce more than an entire day of switching. Measure output, not the feeling of busyness. 2 focused hours of writing can create pages. 2 distracted hours can create a paragraph and a tired mind. 2 focused hours of study can build understanding. 2 distracted hours can become notes you barely remember. 2 focused hours of business work can solve a meaningful problem. 2 distracted hours can disappear inside messages. You may discover that you do not need more time. You need more ownership of the time you already have. Noise also comes from unnecessary commitments. Every yes places something on your future calendar. Be careful. A small commitment today may become 10 hours next month. A project that sounds interesting may take attention from your main goal. A meeting may require travel, preparation, follow-up, and mental recovery. Before saying yes, consider the full cost. Ask whether the commitment supports your values, responsibilities, or current target. If not, a polite no may protect more than time. It protects momentum. Focus is easier when your life has margins. If every hour is filled, any unexpected problem destroys the plan. Leave room. Leave breathing space. Leave time to think. Leave time for rest. A focused life is not a life packed with maximum activity. It is a life where important things have enough space. And remember that rest is not always noise. Rest can protect focus. Sleep protects your ability to think. Exercise improves energy. Time with people you love gives meaning to achievement. Quiet leisure can restore the mind. The goal is not to remove everything except work. The goal is to remove what steals attention without serving your life. Focus is selective, not empty. Choose what matters. Create boundaries around it. Turn down the volume of everything else. Do not ask the world to become quiet. Build enough discipline that the noise no longer controls your direction. 4. Guard your attention like your greatest asset. Money can be lost and earned again. Objects can be replaced. Many opportunities return. Attention is different. Every minute you give away is a piece of life you will never receive again. That makes attention one of your most valuable assets. Most people protect money more carefully than attention. They would notice immediately if someone removed $10 from their wallet, but they may give 2 hours to meaningless scrolling without thinking about the cost. They protect their home with locks. They protect accounts with passwords. They protect phones with face recognition. Yet almost anyone, any app, any notification, any headline, or any random video can enter their mind whenever it wants. This is worth changing. Your attention shapes what you become. What you repeatedly look at influences what you think about. What you think about influences what you desire. What you desire influences what you choose. What you choose, repeated over time, becomes your life. Attention is not simply a productivity tool. It is part of identity. If your attention is constantly pulled toward anger, comparison, gossip, fear, and shallow entertainment, those things slowly shape the inner atmosphere of your life. If your attention is regularly placed on useful work, thoughtful learning, meaningful relationships, physical health, and real problems, those things shape you differently. You become what receives your repeated attention. This is why guarding attention matters even when you are not working. Ask what enters your mind each day. What do you see first in the morning? What do you listen to while eating? What fills your breaks? Who gets your strongest hours? What kind of conversations stay in your mind? What information follows you into sleep? Most people do not choose these things carefully. They allow algorithms, habits, other people's urgency, and random events to decide. Then they wonder why they feel mentally crowded. A crowded mind struggles to do deep work. Imagine your attention as a room. Every piece of content you consume leaves something inside. Every argument, every headline, every video, every comment, every advertisement, every message. If you never clean the room, eventually there is no space to think. You sit down to work, and dozens of voices are still inside your head. This is why mental input needs limits. Not because information is evil, because capacity is limited. You cannot consume everything and still think deeply. Thinking requires space. Creativity requires space. Good decisions require space. Even self-awareness requires space. If you are constantly listening, watching, reading, and reacting, you may know what everyone else thinks while having no idea what you think. Protect moments where your mind is not receiving input. Those moments are not empty. They are where information becomes understanding. They are where experience becomes wisdom. They are where ideas connect. They are where your own voice becomes clear. Attention is also connected to energy. Not every hour of your day has equal value. Your first clear hour may be worth far more than an exhausted hour at night. You need to know when your mind is strongest. For some people, it is early morning. For others, later in the day. The exact time matters less than the principle. Give your best attention to your best work. Do not give your sharpest hour to email if your important goal requires writing. Do not spend your clearest energy on social media if your main goal requires studying. Do not use your strongest mental period solving tiny problems that could be handled later. This sounds simple, yet many people do the opposite. They begin the day by giving attention to everyone else. Messages, news, emails, updates, requests. By the time they turn toward their own priority, their mind is already tired. Try reversing the order. Protect part of your strongest time for the work that can change your future. The world can wait for a little while. Your future should not always receive what is left. You also need to understand attention residue. When you switch from one task to another, part of the mind often remains attached to the previous task. You answer a stressful email, then you try to write. Part of your mind is still thinking about the email. You check social media, then return to studying. Part of your mind is still processing what you saw. You jump between 5 projects. Each one leaves a small piece behind. This is why constant switching feels tiring. The brain is repeatedly closing and reopening mental contexts. Protect attention by grouping similar work. Answer messages at chosen times. Handle admin together. Do creative work in separate blocks. Do not force your mind to change roles every 3 minutes. Give it time to go deeper. Depth often begins after the first layer of restlessness. The first 10 minutes may feel slow. Then your mind settles. You begin understanding the problem. Connections appear. You enter the work. But if you switch every 5 minutes, you never reach that state. You keep living on the surface. Guarding attention also means becoming comfortable with delayed response. You do not need to reply to everything immediately. Fast response is useful in some jobs and situations, but permanent availability has a cost. If everyone expects immediate access to you, your focus becomes public property. Create reasonable expectations. You can be kind without being constantly reachable. You can care about people without checking messages during every focused block. You can respond later. Many things that feel urgent are not actually urgent. The notification creates urgency. The red number creates urgency. The vibration creates urgency. But if the phone had been silent, the same message could have waited an hour. Learn to separate real urgency from manufactured urgency. Real urgency has consequences if delayed. Manufactured urgency simply wants your attention now. This skill alone can return hours to your week. You should also be careful with emotional attention. Some problems continue consuming your mind long after the event ends. Someone makes a rude comment. The conversation takes 30 seconds. You think about it for 3 hours. Which part cost more, the comment or the attention you kept giving it? You cannot prevent every unpleasant event. You can decide how much life it receives afterward. This does not mean ignoring serious problems. Some situations need reflection and action, but many small emotional disturbances become large because we keep feeding them attention. We replay the conversation, create imaginary replies, tell several people, read into every word. Now a small event owns the afternoon. Ask, does this deserve more of my attention? Sometimes the answer is no. Release it. Return to what matters. Attention follows emotion easily. Anger grabs it. Fear grabs it. Envy grabs it. Curiosity grabs it. Outrage grabs it. This is why online platforms often show emotionally strong content. Emotion keeps people watching. Knowing this helps you become less controllable. Not everything that makes you feel strongly deserves your time. You can feel a reaction without giving the subject another hour. Your attention is valuable. Make people and platforms earn it. You should also guard attention from your own need to escape. Sometimes distraction is not caused by technology. Technology is only the tool. The real cause is discomfort. The task feels uncertain. You feel afraid of failing. You feel tired. You feel bored. You do not know how to begin. So your mind searches for relief. The phone offers relief immediately. A video offers relief. Food offers relief. Cleaning the room offers relief. Suddenly, almost anything feels easier than the task. If you only remove the distraction without understanding the discomfort, you may find another distraction. Learn to stay with the feeling. Name it. I am not confused about my schedule. I am afraid this work will not be good. I am not tired enough to stop. I am uncomfortable because I do not know the next step. I do not need more research. I am delaying the moment when I must make a decision. This level of honesty makes focus stronger. Once you identify the real resistance, you can address it. If the task is unclear, define the next step. If it is too large, make it smaller. If you are afraid, accept that fear may be present while you work. If you are genuinely exhausted, rest properly instead of half working and half scrolling. Attention improves when problems are named correctly. Another powerful idea is to decide in advance what deserves access to you. Create rules. No social media before the main work. No phone at the table. No email during deep work. No random videos during study periods. No notifications except from essential people. No opening new projects during the week. The exact rules are personal. Rules reduce negotiation. If every distraction requires a fresh decision, eventually you will become tired of deciding. A rule answers the question in advance. This is why routines can create freedom. You stop using willpower on small choices. Your system protects what matters. Think about people who need uninterrupted attention to perform well. A surgeon cannot check notifications in the middle of an operation. A pilot cannot scroll social media during landing. An athlete cannot stop during a race to answer a message. The importance of the task creates a boundary. Your main goal may not involve life and death, but it still deserves periods of protected attention. Treat focused work with respect. Close the door if you can. Silence the phone. Set a clear period. Begin. The more seriously you treat the time, the more your mind learns to enter focus. You can even create a small starting ritual. Clear the desk. Fill a glass of water. Write the single task at the top of the page. Set a timer if that helps. Put the phone away. Begin with the easiest useful action. Over time, these signals tell the brain what is about to happen. Athletes use routines. Musicians use routines. Writers use routines. The ritual is not magical. It simply reduces friction. Your mind knows, now we work. Protecting attention also includes protecting sleep. A tired mind is harder to control. When you are exhausted, distractions become more attractive. Self-control weakens. Emotions become stronger. Simple tasks feel harder. You may think you have a discipline problem when you have an energy problem. Sleep is not separate from focus. It is one of its foundations. Movement matters too. The body and mind are not separate machines. Regular exercise can improve energy, mood, and mental clarity. Food influences how you feel. Breaks influence how long you can sustain concentration. A strong focus system respects biology. Do not build a plan that requires you to behave like a machine. Work deeply, then recover, return. Your attention becomes stronger through cycles, not permanent tension. There is one more part of attention that people often ignore. What deserves your attention outside achievement? The people you love. If you become highly focused on work but cannot look at a family member while they speak, something has gone wrong. If every meal is interrupted by the phone, your attention is being stolen from real life. If you reach your goal while missing the people beside you, the achievement may feel empty. Attention is also how we show care. When someone matters, give them presence. Put the device down. Listen fully. Notice. Remember. The discipline of one should make you more intentional, not less human. The goal is not to narrow your whole life into a task. The goal is to stop wasting attention so you can give it fully where it matters. Fully to your work when you work. Fully to rest when you rest. Fully to people when you are with them. Fully to learning when you learn. Fully to silence when silence is needed. This creates a richer life because you stop being mentally everywhere and physically nowhere. Guard your attention. Every person, platform, goal, and worry wants a piece of it. You decide who receives it. 5. Do less but finish what matters. A long to-do list can make you feel important. 20 tasks, 30 tasks, messages, meetings, calls, small jobs, updates. You move all day, you cross things off, you feel busy. Then evening arrives, and the one task that could truly move your life forward is still unfinished. This is one of the great traps of modern work. Busyness can hide a lack of progress. Activity is easy to measure. Importance is harder. Answering 12 emails feels productive because you can see 12 completed actions. Thinking deeply about one difficult problem for 2 hours may produce no visible result until later. So the brain often prefers small tasks. They give quick rewards. Check, done, next. The list becomes shorter, but a shorter list does not always mean a better day. A better question is, what did I finish that mattered? This moves your attention from volume to value. Doing less does not mean becoming lazy. It means refusing to confuse quantity with importance. Suppose one task could bring a new customer, another could improve the product, another could prepare you for an important exam, another could finish the chapter you have delayed for weeks. Then you also have 12 minor tasks. The minor tasks may be easier, but difficulty does not make the important task less important. In fact, the reason you keep avoiding it may be exactly because it matters. Important work carries emotional weight. If you fail, you will notice. If it is bad, people may judge it. If you finish, you may need to take the next step. So you delay, you do small things, and tell yourself you are being responsible. Sometimes productivity is simply sophisticated avoidance. Learn to catch yourself. Ask, what am I doing instead of the thing I know I should do? That question can be uncomfortable. It can also save years. Finishing matters because unfinished work creates no complete value. A half-written book cannot help readers. A half-built product cannot serve customers. A half-completed course gives limited skill. A half-finished application cannot be accepted. A business plan that never reaches the market creates no revenue. Ideas are common. Completion is rare. The world rewards finished value. You may be brilliant at beginning. That is useful. But finishing requires different strengths: patience, editing, problem-solving, tolerance for imperfection, the ability to continue after excitement disappears, the willingness to face details, the ability to decide that something is good enough to release. Many people fail to finish because they secretly demand perfection. They say they have high standards. Sometimes they do. Sometimes perfection is fear, wearing expensive clothes. If the work is never finished, it can never be judged. As long as the book remains unfinished, you can imagine it will be brilliant. As long as the business never launches, you can imagine people will love it. As long as the video stays in editing, you can believe it could become perfect. Completion forces reality to answer. Maybe people like it. Maybe they do not. Maybe the result is average. Maybe there are mistakes. That uncertainty scares people, so they keep improving forever. There is a point where improvement becomes avoidance. Learn the difference between quality and endless polishing. Quality asks, what would make this meaningfully better? Perfectionism asks, how can I delay releasing this until I feel completely safe? You will never feel completely safe. Finished work teaches you more than protected work. Publish, submit, launch, deliver. Then learn from what happens. Your next attempt can improve. This is how skill grows. Not through imagining perfect work, through completing real work. One practical way to finish more is to limit how many things can remain active. If you have 5 major projects open, none receives enough attention. Try a simple rule. Do not begin another major project until one current project is completed, cancelled, or consciously paused. This creates pressure in a useful direction. You start valuing completion because completion creates room. Without a limit, new ideas constantly enter. Your workload expands forever. Work limits force decisions. They make you ask, is this new idea important enough to replace something I am already doing? Usually, the answer is no. Another useful habit is defining done before you begin. Many projects remain unfinished because the finish line is unclear. Improve website has no clear ending. You can improve a website forever. Rewrite the home page, replace 3 images, test the contact form, and publish has an ending. Work on book is unclear. Complete chapter 5 and edit it once is clearer. Get fit is unclear. Complete 4 strength sessions this week is clear. If you cannot define completion, your brain cannot aim at it. Make the finish line visible, then resist adding new requirements halfway through. This happens often. You begin a simple project, then you add features, then more ideas. The project grows. The finish line moves away. Months pass. This is called scope creep in professional work, but it happens in personal life too. Your original plan was enough. Then you kept expanding it. Ask what the smallest complete version looks like. Build that first. You can improve later. A finished, simple version is usually more valuable than an unfinished, impressive version. This principle is powerful in learning. You may plan to study 5 different topics in 1 month. Instead, choose one course, finish it. Practice what it teaches, then move on. Completion creates a feeling of progress, but more importantly, it creates a complete structure in your mind. Jumping between sources can leave fragments. You know pieces of everything and the full shape of nothing. Depth needs continuity. When you finish, you see how the parts connect. The same is true with books. Reading 10 books at once may feel intellectually rich. For some people it works. For many, it becomes another form of switching. One chapter here, another there. Months later, nothing is finished. Try reading fewer books and thinking about them more. Apply an idea, take notes, explain what you learned. A book is not useful because you turned the final page. It is useful because something changed in how you think or act. Do less, extract more. This applies to goals too. You do not need 12 life goals each quarter. Choose one major outcome and a small number of supporting habits. Maybe your major outcome is passing an exam. Supporting habits could be 2 hours of study each morning, 1 practice test each week, and consistent sleep. That may be enough. People often destroy good plans by adding too much. Daily reading, meditation, cold showers, running, weight training, journaling, language learning, networking, side business, content creation, meal preparation, wake at 5, sleep by 9. The plan becomes a full-time job before the real work begins. Then one bad day breaks everything. Simple systems survive. Complex systems require too much maintenance. Do not build a life that needs perfect discipline every hour. Choose a few actions that create most of the result. Do those well. This is close to the idea that a small number of actions often create a large share of results. In your work, some activities matter far more than others. If you are in sales, talking to qualified customers may matter more than designing another spreadsheet. If you are a writer, writing matters more than choosing the perfect font. If you are a student, active recall and practice questions may matter more than decorating notes. If you are building a channel, making strong videos matters more than endlessly changing small profile details. If you run a business, creating value and reaching customers matter more than looking busy. Identify your high-value actions, protect them, reduce the rest. One useful exercise is to look at yesterday. Write down how you spent your working time. Be specific. Then mark each activity as high value, necessary maintenance, or low value. Do not judge yourself. Observe. You may discover that only 1 or 2 hours went toward high-value work. This is common. The goal is not to shame yourself. The goal is to redesign the day. Can high-value work happen earlier? Can some maintenance be grouped? Can something be automated? Can something be delegated? Can something be removed? Can you check email twice instead of 20 times? Can you shorten meetings? Can you stop creating work that nobody needs? A large percentage of busyness is self-created. We add steps. We over-communicate. We polish things that do not matter. We attend meetings without clear purpose. We collect tools. We rebuild systems. We organize instead of execute. Simplicity is a competitive advantage because it leaves more energy for the core. Finishing also requires accepting the ugly middle. At the beginning, you have energy. Near the end, you can see completion. The middle is harder. The project is no longer exciting, but the finish line still feels far away. This is where discipline becomes important. Do not judge the project by how exciting it feels in the middle. Almost everything important becomes ordinary during repetition. A musician practices scales. A writer edits sentences. An athlete repeats movements. A programmer fixes bugs. A business owner solves customer problems. Mastery contains a lot of ordinary work. If you expect every day to feel inspiring, you will keep leaving good paths. Learn to respect boring progress. Boring progress pays. The person who can repeat useful actions without needing emotional excitement becomes difficult to compete with. They are still there after others become distracted. They continue after the novelty fades. They finish. Another reason people struggle to finish is because they underestimate transition cost. You plan 6 major tasks in one day. Each needs a different kind of thinking. Research, writing, calling, designing, planning, studying. You spend mental energy changing modes. Instead, choose one major output for the day. If you complete it early, move to another. But begin with the win that matters. This creates a different quality of day. You stop carrying the pressure of 20 competing priorities. The question becomes simple. What must be completed today? Do that. Some days the answer may involve family or health rather than work. That is fine. The principle is about importance, not career obsession. If someone you love needs you, that may be the most important thing. If your body needs recovery, sleep may be the correct priority. If a serious financial problem needs attention, handle it. Focus is not blind, it is conscious. You decide what deserves completion, then you finish it. You should also celebrate completion in a quiet way. Not every completed task needs a reward, but pause long enough to register that you finished. Many driven people immediately move to the next problem. They never feel progress because their eyes are always on what remains. This can make a productive life feel like permanent failure. Notice finished work. You kept the promise. You completed the chapter. You sent the application. You reached the deadline. You trained consistently. You solved the problem. Let your brain connect discipline with evidence. Confidence is built partly from completed promises to yourself. Every time you say, "I will do this," and finish, you create proof. Every time you keep starting and abandoning, you create different proof. This does not mean you must finish every bad idea. Wisdom includes quitting what truly should be quit. But quit clearly. Do not leave it floating. Say, "I am ending this project because it no longer serves the goal." Then close it. The problem is not stopping. The problem is endless, unfinished uncertainty. Finish or release. Both create space. Your life does not need more open tabs. It needs finished chapters. Do less, finish more. Let completed work build your reputation, skill, confidence, and future. 6. Stay locked in when progress feels slow. Fast progress is easy to love. You work for 1 week and see improvement. Your numbers rise. Your body changes. People notice. The project grows. Motivation comes naturally because effort creates visible reward. Slow progress is different. You work and almost nothing seems to happen. Another week passes. The numbers barely move. You practice but still feel average. You publish and few people respond. You study, but the material remains difficult. You exercise, but the mirror looks almost the same. This is where many people leave, not because they are incapable, because the reward became too quiet. Staying locked in means continuing when progress is real but hard to see. This requires a different relationship with time. Most people overestimate what can happen in a short period and underestimate what can happen through years of steady effort. They want transformation in 30 days. When it does not happen, they assume the method failed. Sometimes the method did fail, but sometimes the timeline was simply unrealistic. A tree does not become useless because it did not grow 10 feet this week. Growth has a pace, skills have a pace, trust has a pace, businesses have a pace, bodies have a pace, careers have a pace. You can often improve the process. You cannot remove time from every equation. Patience is not passive. Patience is active effort without immediate reward. That is much harder. Anyone can be patient while doing nothing. Real patience means you keep showing up, you keep learning, you keep adjusting, you keep doing the repetitions, you keep planting even when the field still looks empty. This ability creates extraordinary advantage because many people cannot tolerate delayed results. They need constant proof. They need likes, praise, money, visible growth, recognition, excitement. When those signals disappear, their effort disappears too. If you can work without applause, you can continue through periods that remove most competition. There may be months when almost nobody understands what you are building. Continue. There may be periods where your skill is improving faster than your results. Continue. There may be a long gap between effort and reward. Continue while checking whether the process is sound. This last part matters. Persistence is not repeating a broken method forever. Staying locked in does not mean refusing evidence. It means staying committed to the goal while being flexible with the method. Suppose you publish 50 videos and none performs well. Do not simply publish 500 more in exactly the same way. Study what is happening, improve topics, improve storytelling, improve titles, improve the first minute. Study the audience, change what needs changing, remain committed to the goal, not emotionally attached to every tactic. A mountain climber may change routes without changing the mountain. That is intelligent persistence. You need feedback loops. Ask what is working, what is not. What have I learned? Where is the bottleneck? What one change could improve the result? Then test. This turns slow progress into information. Without reflection, slow progress becomes frustration. With reflection, slow progress becomes a teacher. Sometimes the bottleneck is skill. You need to become better. Sometimes it is volume. You need more repetitions. Sometimes it is strategy. You are doing the wrong activity. Sometimes it is patience. The process is working but needs more time. Sometimes it is environment. You are trying to build a difficult habit in conditions that constantly break it. Sometimes it is energy. You are exhausted. Sometimes the goal itself needs adjustment. Not every goal deserves endless pursuit. The challenge is learning which problem you are facing. Do not let impatience answer too quickly. Track the right things. If your final result moves slowly, track actions you can control. A writer cannot force people to buy a book today, but they can track writing sessions. A salesperson cannot force customers to say yes, but they can track useful conversations. A student cannot guarantee the final grade today, but they can track practice tests and study hours. A person getting fit cannot control tomorrow's appearance, but they can track workouts, food choices, sleep, and steps. Process measures keep you connected to progress before the final result arrives. This matters emotionally. If the only measure is the final outcome, many days feel like failure. If you also measure the right actions, you can see that you are building. But do not use activity as an excuse forever. The process should eventually influence outcomes. If months pass with no change, review it seriously. Focused patience includes honesty. Another challenge with slow progress is that other people's fast progress becomes more painful. You are working hard. Someone else seems to move faster. Maybe they started later. Maybe they are younger. Maybe they have fewer resources. Maybe they suddenly become successful. Your mind starts asking, what is wrong with you? Be careful. Speed is not the only measure of success. Some people rise quickly and disappear quickly. Some rise slowly and build something stable. You do not know which advantages another person had before you noticed them. You do not know how long they prepared privately. You do not know what help they received. You do not know the full cost. And most importantly, their timeline does not change your next useful action. Comparison may provide information, but envy provides little. Return to your work. The clock is moving whether you complain or build. Use it. Slow seasons can develop qualities that fast success does not. Patience, humility, skill, resourcefulness, self-trust, the ability to work without praise, the ability to solve problems, the ability to separate identity from results. These qualities become valuable when success eventually arrives. Fast growth without inner strength can destroy people. They gain opportunities they cannot manage, money they cannot handle, attention they are not prepared for, responsibility without discipline. Slow growth can build the person who will later carry a larger result. Do not romanticize struggle. Hardship is not automatically good. But if a difficult period is already here, use it. Let it train something. When progress feels slow, your mind may begin changing the story. At first you say, this will take time. Then after a difficult week you say, maybe I am not talented. After another, maybe I always fail. Notice the jump. One slow result becomes a judgment about your identity. Do not do that. A result is information. It is not a complete definition of you. One failed attempt means one attempt failed. It does not mean you are a failure. One poor month means the month was poor. It does not prove the future. Keep language accurate. Accurate thinking protects discipline. Instead of "nothing is working," ask "which part is not working?" Instead of "I am terrible at this," say "my current skill level is not enough yet." Instead of "I will never improve," say "my improvement is slower than I hoped." Specific problems can be solved. Global hopelessness cannot. Your words influence what your mind believes is possible. Use truthful language. There is also power in creating a minimum standard for bad days. Anyone can do their full routine when energy is high. What will you do when it is low? Maybe your normal writing goal is 1,000 words. On a terrible day, your minimum is 200. Maybe your normal workout is 1 hour. On a low-energy day, your minimum is a 20-minute walk or short session. Maybe you normally study for 2 hours. On a difficult day, you review for 30 minutes. The minimum keeps the connection alive. It protects identity. You remain a person who returns. Be careful not to make the minimum your permanent standard. Its purpose is to prevent zero when life becomes difficult. Consistency is not perfection. Consistency is returning repeatedly. You will miss days. Plans will break. Illness happens. Family problems happen. Travel happens. Unexpected work appears. The question is not whether your streak remained perfect. The question is how quickly you returned. Some people miss one workout and turn it into 3 months. They miss 1 week of writing and declare the project dead. They break the routine and feel they must restart perfectly on Monday, next month, or January. Return at the next reasonable opportunity. Do not make failure dramatic. You missed. Return. The faster you remove shame from the process, the faster you regain momentum. Progress also feels slow when your standards rise. This is common in skill development. At the beginning, you do not know enough to see your weaknesses. As you improve, your taste becomes better. Now you notice problems you could not see before. Strangely, you may feel worse even though you are becoming better. A new writer may love everything they write. After a year of learning, they may see many weaknesses. That discomfort can be evidence of growth. Your ability to judge has improved. Now your ability to produce must catch up. Do not confuse higher standards with lower skill. Keep practicing. There may be plateaus. A plateau is a period where visible improvement slows. Plateaus are normal in many forms of learning and training. At first, simple changes create big gains. Later, improvement requires finer work. This is when fundamentals become important. Return to basics. A musician returns to timing and technique. An athlete returns to movement quality. A writer returns to clear sentences. A business returns to customer needs. A speaker returns to clear communication. Advanced performance often grows from deeper basics. Do not become too proud to practice simple things. The boring foundation may be where your next level is hiding. Another way to survive slow progress is to build a life you can continue. Extreme routines often create short bursts. You work 14 hours a day for 2 weeks, then collapse. You train 7 days a week, then stop for a month. You remove all enjoyment from your life, then rebel against your own system. Sustainable discipline is more powerful than temporary intensity. Ask what pace you could maintain for a year, not the maximum possible pace, a strong pace, one that challenges you without destroying everything else. You may still use intense periods when needed. Deadlines exist. Big pushes can be useful, but they should be periods, not your permanent condition. Burnout does not prove dedication. It may simply show that the system ignored human limits. Protect sleep, protect health, Protect relationships. Protect some quiet. A meaningful goal should improve your life, not consume every part of it. Staying locked in is easier when the goal fits your values. If the only reason you want something is because it looks impressive, slow progress becomes unbearable. You begin asking why you are sacrificing so much. But if the goal connects to something deeper, patience has roots. Maybe you want financial stability because your family has lived with uncertainty. Maybe you want to build a skill because you want meaningful work. Maybe you want to become healthy because you want energy for your children. Maybe you want to create because you have something useful to say. Remember the reason, not every day, not in an emotional speech, simply enough that effort stays connected to meaning. Meaning strengthens endurance. Then accept this. There may be no dramatic moment when you suddenly feel successful. Growth can be so gradual that you do not notice it. You simply become the person who can now do what once felt difficult. The language that once confused you becomes understandable. The weight that once felt heavy becomes warm up. The work that once took 5 hours takes 1. The conversations that once frightened you feel normal. The income level that once seemed distant becomes your new baseline. Progress often becomes visible when you look backward, not when you stare forward. Keep records, save old work, track important numbers. Take occasional photos if the goal is physical. Record practice, review old notes. Let evidence remind you that slow does not mean still. Stay, adjust, learn, return. You do not need to move fast every day. You need to avoid repeatedly walking away from the direction that matters. 7. One mission, one direction, one breakthrough. A breakthrough often looks sudden from the outside. Someone seems unknown, then their work spreads everywhere. A small business becomes successful. A writer becomes widely read. An athlete reaches a new level. A student earns an important opportunity. A creator grows quickly. People see the breakthrough. They do not see the long direction that came before it. Breakthroughs are often built from ordinary days. One decision, one practice session, one page, one call, one improvement, one workout, one difficult conversation, one more attempt. Repeated far longer than most people expected. The final result may arrive quickly. The foundation usually does not. This is why direction matters more than daily drama. You do not need every day to feel powerful. You need your days to point in the same useful direction. If you walk 1 kilometer north today and 1 kilometer south tomorrow, you worked for 2 kilometers but returned to the same place. This is what scattered effort does. A lot of motion, little distance. One mission gives your effort alignment. The word mission does not need to mean something huge. It can simply mean the most important work of this season. Finish the degree, build the company, write the book, recover your health, become fluent, pay off the debt, build the skill, create stability. Your mission should be clear enough that you can recognize when your actions support it. Then give it a direction. Direction turns desire into structure. If your mission is to become fluent in English, your direction might include daily speaking, listening, vocabulary and context, and real conversations. If your mission is to build a business, your direction might include understanding customers, creating value, selling, delivering, and improving. If your mission is to become strong and healthy, your direction might include consistent training, simple nutrition, enough sleep, and patience. You do not need hundreds of tactics. You need the right fundamentals repeated. People often search for breakthroughs through secrets. The secret method, the hidden hack, the perfect routine, the unknown strategy. Sometimes a new idea helps. But many breakthroughs come from doing known things with uncommon consistency. Everyone knows practice matters. Few practice long enough. Everyone knows sleep matters. Many ignore it. Everyone knows customers matter. Businesses still spend more time looking at competitors than talking to customers. Everyone knows writing requires writing. Writers still spend hours preparing to write. The difference is often not knowledge, it is obedience to what you already know. Before searching for another answer, ask whether you are applying the answers you already have. This can save years. One mission also gives sacrifice meaning. Without a mission, saying no feels like loss. With a mission, saying no becomes protection. You do not attend every event because the time has a purpose. You do not chase every trend because the direction is clear. You do not spend every evening in entertainment because part of your future is being built there. You do not need other people to understand every choice. A focused life may look boring to someone who values constant novelty. That is fine. Your job is not to make your process entertaining for observers. Your job is to build what matters. There is a peaceful kind of confidence that develops when direction becomes clear. You stop asking every week what you should become. You begin becoming it. You stop rebuilding the plan. You start working the plan. You stop announcing intentions. You start collecting evidence. This reduces internal noise. The mind becomes stronger when actions and goals agree. If you say health matters but never move your body, there is conflict. If you say the business matters but give every best hour to entertainment, there is conflict. If you say writing matters but avoid the page, there is conflict. That conflict creates guilt because your behavior keeps arguing with your words. Alignment feels different. You say the mission matters, then your calendar shows it matters. Your habits show it matters. Your decisions show it matters. You may still struggle. You may still procrastinate sometimes, but the general direction agrees. That builds self-respect. Self-respect is not created only by thinking positively about yourself. It is also created by becoming someone whose behavior can be trusted. When you repeatedly keep reasonable promises to yourself, you start believing yourself. You say you will work for 1 hour. You work. You say you will complete the project. You complete it. You say you will protect the morning. You protect it most days. Each action is a vote. Eventually, your identity changes. You no longer need to say, "I am trying to become disciplined." You have evidence that you are becoming a person who does what matters. This identity is more stable than motivation. Motivation says, "I feel ready." Identity says, "This is what I do." Feelings will still influence you. They simply stop being the final authority. A disciplined person can feel tired and still complete a small commitment. They can feel doubt and still send the application. They can feel fear and still speak. They can feel bored and still practice. They are not emotionless. They have learned that emotion and action do not always need to agree. This is freedom. You no longer wait to feel perfect before acting. One mission can also simplify decision-making. Imagine you receive an invitation to join a project. It sounds good. Instead of asking only whether the project is exciting, ask whether it supports the mission. Does it move you toward the direction? Does it teach a skill you need? Does it create a relationship that matters? Does it provide resources? Or will it take 3 months of energy from the central goal? The mission becomes a filter. Some yeses become easy. Some no's become easy. This does not mean you become rigid. Unexpected opportunities can change a life. Stay awake. But make people and opportunities prove why they deserve a change in direction. Do not hand your steering wheel to every interesting possibility. A mission also protects you during hard seasons. When a bad week comes, you know where to return. When motivation falls, you know what the next step is. When someone criticizes you, you still know your direction. When progress slows, you know which system to review. Clarity gives you a home base. You may wander. You return. That return matters more than perfect behavior. There is another important part of breakthrough. Breakthrough usually requires becoming better, not simply wanting more. If you want a larger result, Ask what level of person, skill, system, or team is required to create it. You may want 10 times more customers. Can the business serve them well? You may want a larger audience. Can your content hold attention? You may want a promotion. Can you handle the responsibility? You may want to write a great book. Have you developed the ability to write one? Desire asks for the result. Discipline builds the capacity. Do not only chase the reward, build the person who can carry it. This changes how you see slow periods. Instead of asking, "Why has my breakthrough not arrived?" ask, "What capacity am I building now?" Maybe you are learning communication, maybe patience, maybe sales, maybe leadership, maybe emotional control, maybe technical skill, maybe judgment, maybe the ability to keep going after rejection. These capacities often become the hidden structure supporting future success. The person you become while pursuing the mission may be more valuable than the original goal. Goals end, capacity remains. You finish the degree, but you keep the ability to learn. You build the business, but you keep the ability to solve problems. You complete the book, but you keep the ability to write. You reach the fitness goal, but you keep the discipline to care for your body. You become fluent, but you keep the confidence to learn difficult things. This is why disciplined focus changes more than results. It changes identity. At some point, your mission may need to change. That is normal. Focus is not a prison. When the goal is completed, choose the next. When life changes, review the direction. When strong evidence shows that the mission no longer fits who you are or what matters, change consciously. The discipline of one does not demand that you spend your whole life on one project. It asks you to stop living 10 lives at once. There are seasons, a season for building, a season for learning, a season for recovery, a season for family, a season for expansion, a season for simplifying. Know your season. Do not copy someone whose life is in a completely different one. A new parent may need different goals from a single 20-year-old. A person rebuilding health needs different priorities from someone training for elite performance. A business fighting to survive needs different actions from one already stable. Good focus begins with reality. Where am I? What matters now? What needs to happen next? Then choose. There is strength in narrowing the field. When 10 goals become 1, energy gathers. When 20 projects become 2, progress becomes visible. When 5 hours of scattered work become 2 hours of deep work, output improves. When 100 sources of advice become 3 trusted ones, thinking becomes clearer. When endless options become one direction, anxiety often drops. You know what to do. Now the challenge is doing it. Do not wait for the perfect Monday. Do not wait for January. Do not wait until you buy the tool. Do not wait until your confidence reaches 100%. Begin with what is available. Use the room you have. Use the time you have. Use the skill you have. Use the equipment you have. Use the contacts you have. Your first version may be rough. Begin anyway. Direction improves through movement. You often discover the next step after taking the current one. A person standing still tries to see the entire road. A person walking only needs to see enough road for the next few steps. This reduces fear. You do not need to know exactly what year 5 will look like. Know what this month requires. Know what this week requires. Know what today requires. Then do today's work. Tomorrow will arrive with new information. This is how large things are built without carrying their full weight at once. A building is not built by placing the entire structure in one movement. One part is completed, then another. Your mission works the same way. One day, one block, one action, one finished piece. You will be tempted to underestimate small actions because they do not create dramatic feelings. Do not. Small actions are dangerous when they compound in the wrong direction. 5 minutes wasted 40 times a day becomes hours. A small unnecessary expense repeated for years becomes large. One bad habit repeated thousands of times changes health. The opposite is also true. 20 minutes of reading, repeated for years, builds knowledge. 30 minutes of practice builds skill. One useful conversation every day builds relationships. A small amount saved consistently becomes meaningful. One page a day becomes books. One focused work block every morning can build a career. Repetition gives small things power. Your breakthrough may be hiding inside an action that currently looks too small to matter. Do it anyway. And when the breakthrough begins, remain focused. Success creates new distractions. People may begin contacting you. Opportunities increase. Money may increase. Attention may increase. Suddenly, the person who had one mission has 20 options. Success can destroy focus as easily as failure. Remember what created the result. Do not abandon the foundation too quickly. Protect the core. If writing created the opportunity, keep writing. If customer service built the company, do not stop listening to customers. If consistency built the body, do not assume success has removed the need for consistency. If disciplined study created competence, keep learning. Growth may require new systems. Your responsibilities may change, but do not forget the behaviors that made growth possible. The discipline of one is not only for beginning, it is how you remain centered while life becomes larger. Eventually, you will understand why so many people remain stuck despite having talent. Their effort never stays in one direction long enough. They keep digging new wells, 1 meter here, 2 meters there, 3 meters somewhere else. They work hard but never reach water. Another person chooses one place after careful thought and keeps digging. The ground becomes hard. They keep digging. Nothing appears. They question themselves. They check whether the location still makes sense. Then they continue. Deeper, deeper, deeper. One day, water appears. From the outside, it looks like luck. But luck did not dig the well. Direction did. Repetition did. Patience did. Correction did. Discipline did. You do not control the exact day your breakthrough arrives. You control whether you are still building when opportunity meets preparation. That is enough. One mission, one direction, one useful action repeated with care. Not forever, long enough. Long enough to become skilled, long enough to become trusted, long enough to understand what most beginners never learn, long enough for effort to compound, long enough for your work to become hard to ignore, long enough for you to discover what you are capable of when your attention stops running in every direction. A focused life is not built by doing more and more. It is built by knowing what deserves your best energy, protecting that energy, and staying with meaningful work after the easy excitement disappears. Choose carefully, then build deeply. You do not need to change everything at once. Choose what matters most. Protect your attention. Finish what you start, and stay with the path long enough to see what focused effort can truly build. Your life does not need more noise. It needs direction, one target, one mission, one disciplined mind. If this audiobook helped you, comment 1 and make today the day you stop dividing your focus. Now choose what matters most and give it your best.